Right off the 14600 South Freeway exit in Bluffdale, Utah, there is a warehouse with a lot of weird machines. But what's cool about these machines is that they will print and send unlimited postcards for your business for just $1.99 a month. And not only will they send postcards, they also send over 10,000 brownies a month. They send custom sugar cookies, cutting boards, and almost anything else you can imagine. And today I'm sitting down with the vice president of Mailbox Power to see how this operation actually got started, how it works, and how you can get started for less than $79 a month. This is the story of how one Utah company is helping clients all across the United States break through the digital noise with physical marketing on this episode of UtahPreneur. William, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
This is great. It's so cool to be in the headquarters.
Yeah.
And so cool to see the operation you guys have built. I didn't realize how recent Mailbox Power kind of came to power, so to speak.
Yeah.
In its current model.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the transition to the recurring, unlimited postcards model that you guys came up with, 3-ish years ago now?
8 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, rebranding was done across a couple different companies. So originally, the company was called originally Rocket Notes. Mm-hmm. Then it went to Banner Season, and the Banner Season was where it was an MLM.
Okay.
Right. And then they rebranded to Mailbox Power to then make it a monthly recurring revenue model. So I believe that it's been Mailbox Power for 5-6 years officially.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it's a great product. And, when you look around in the industry right now, especially at our different competitors, there's mainly going to be people that are, either doing bulk sends where you've got to send a minimum quantity of a couple thousand to be able to even do something. Mm-hmm. Or, you're paying a monthly fee plus you're paying for the postcards. For example, there's gifting companies, and those gifting companies charge a monthly recurring fee, $97 a month plus, just for gifting, just for gifting software. And so I think, in that sense, we really stand alone in the industry because we truly are a unicorn. You don't have a direct mail and a gifting company all in one anywhere else. And that's what the team has created.
Cool. And where did the idea initially come from for Mailbox Power? Do you know?
So, don't quote me on this, but I believe that Justin and Jerry, they are the developers that built it, and there was a couple other people involved also, but basically they worked for a couple other software companies here in the Salt Lake City Valley, and they were the ones that kind of created the automated processes, the back-end software that actually automated you ordering something online and it turning it into a printed process through the machines in the facility. So, yeah, that's something that they created, and they crafted their own software, which I don't know if anybody else has anything like it. Mm-hmm. Jerry loves to call it his little minion bots that run programs in the background. So when you place your orders, basically it runs a program on our servers, and then the following business morning, everything's printed automatically in our facility. Our team members walk up, grab the stuff, and it's done.
Got it. So the big idea was, how do we automate basically printing the addresses and the custom whatever it is and get that shipped off?
Yeah.
From a software.
Yep. Yeah, no. Being able to, jumping around here, Justin actually was just mentioning this the other day, but as a company, we kind of feel like we started at gifting and then worked our way backwards. So it's kind of interesting in that sense. But, now we have all the way from prospecting to client retention and everything in between. There's over 100 different products to be able to choose from with Mailbox Power. And the fact that every single item can be fully personalized, whether it's laser engraving or UV or printing or whatever it is. Like, heck, you can put your face on a cookie, like that's pretty impressive. So being able to do those things really makes every item personalized. And, when you talk about white labeling, even our products being sent out are fully white labeled. They're white labeled to you, the customer. Yeah. So it actually looks like you went to the post office or you shipped it from your house. It's got your return information. It's got all of your stuff on it. So,
wow. What's the craziest success story you've seen at Mailbox Power?
We have one gentleman, single customer, that I believe he's almost sent 25,000 birthday sequences. So he's almost celebrated 25,000 birthdays, and he's in the insurance space. And, when you're doing that much volume, it works, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to keep sending, let's do another 10,000 this year if it's not working.
Yeah.
And so it really does stress the importance of what birthday marketing just by itself. That's just one thing, right? Yeah. There's so many other things that you can do, but celebrating somebody on their birthday and sending them a pack of brownies or a greeting card so that you can stay top of mind. Really, when's the last time you got that from your insurance agent? Yeah. It just doesn't happen, right? Yeah. And the owners all love to add onto their cards this one little phrase, which is pretty sharp. Call or text me when you get this so I know you received it, right? And so now throughout the year, you're celebrating 100 birthdays. There's 100 new phone calls where you can dive in and talk to a prospect, work on referrals, work on client retention, all sorts of things. Yeah. So not only the prospecting, but that too.
Make sure it shows up a little before their birthday so they don't have to call you on their actual
So birthday. The beauty of our automation sequences, it already does that for you.
Great.
Yeah, you can choose how many days before. It's set at 7 days, but it depends on where you're at in the country. Since we're in Salt Lake City, we can ship, anywhere in the country here. We can even ship outside of the country, but there's just obviously added time and
cost,
more money. Yeah. But anything here inside the country, or like a couple states away from us, you're there in a couple days.
Wow.
And I think the ultimate goal of the company is to look at expansion into Tennessee, so that we can basically just have another facility that all it does is house our top sent products. So like brownies, postcards, and something else. That way we're anywhere in the country within 2-3 days.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. This isn't another ad break. I just am letting you know that we're about to talk about two things that you may not think apply to you, but I think they're actually quite cool. The first one is white label. If you don't know what that means, basically means that we're going to talk about how Mailbox Power allows you to use their entire facility, their brand, their fulfillment processes, but put your own brand on it and basically start your own software without all the development costs and obviously the fulfillment costs of their massive warehouse. If that's interesting to you, or if you just like to use Mailbox Power for your own business, you don't want to white label it, I actually have a 25% off discount for any of their plans, from the lowest at $79 a month to the highest at $499 a month, which is the white label plan. If you want to get 25% off for 3 months, use the link in the description of wherever you're watching this and you can get that discount. The other thing is we're going to talk about agencies. This is actually an interview I did for some of my other socials, and a lot of the people there are agency owners. So I frame it in terms of an agency, but everything we're talking about is totally applicable no matter what business you run. So with that said, back to the interview. So the thing I was really excited to talk to you about is the opportunity of white labeling with unlimited sub accounts. This idea of like, I'm Mailbox Power with a new brand, and having the juggernaut influence of this entire warehouse and all of the executive team behind you. It's really exciting, and I think it's quite differentiated. White Label's been around for a little bit, but you weren't doing unlimited sub accounts, right?
Correct.
So talk to me about the decision to offer unlimited sub accounts. Why do that? Why now? And what are you seeing as this happens?
Yeah. So, ultimately, when you do something like that, free unlimited sub accounts, as a company, you need to obviously worry about yourself and make sure that you're going to make money.
Yeah.
And so that was our fear, I think, at not fear, but that was our concern at the start was, well, we got to make sure that we make money because we're a physical product, right? I think it's different when it's a digital software where it's just, hey, just get another server,
Yeah.
Whereas here we have a certain limit.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned earlier, our postcards are that in a way is an easily duplicatable process, right? Yeah. So the fact that our systems are fully automated for postcards, it just goes straight to the machines and prints it automatically. It means that we can handle that, right? Yeah. And overall, I mean, we're still only at 10% for our facility.
Yeah.
So we've got plenty of growth we can do. We can handle whatever's thrown at us.
I guess the risk you're talking about is like somebody comes through, they get 1,000 sub accounts. Every single one of those is using them up to their capacity. Granted, they still have to pay for postage, but like your cost of the ink and the paper adds up too much to where you're like, okay, this account isn't profitable.
Yeah. And, there's a lot to go into there, but yeah, essentially, we just wanted to make sure there was something there. So I think that this model is a benefit for both sides of the coin. And I actually really like how we rolled it out. So it allows you to offer postcard marketing to every single one of your customers, right? Mm-hmm. Like even if you wanted to just create an account and then give every one of your customers, your existing customers, an account, you could.
Yeah.
Right? And from there, to me, I mean, this is a great bundle opportunity. It's a great upsell opportunity. It's a great intro opportunity. The fact you can go under that $97 mapped pricing and have a good intro, I think it's a great opportunity in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So I want to talk about strategy behind direct mail, specifically in prospecting. We talked before, and Mailbox Power kind of has two sides. You can prospect with it, or you can gift and focus on retention. And you guys are focusing more on how can we become a better prospecting engine, from what I understand, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
So when I was running my agency, I did a direct mail campaign. I can't remember exactly how many, but thousands of direct mail pieces that we sent, and they were lumpy mail, as they call it. So it was like a money gun, if you know those things.
Okay.
In this like shiny red, like fluorescent almost packaging. And then there was a video box inside of it. So like you open the box and it plays a video. So very, creative piece. And we spent, I want to say like 12 grand to send these out. Thousands of orthodontists that we ended up sending it to. And we closed one client, and they churned in like 2 months.
Dang.
So it was a flop. I'm glad I had the experience,
Yeah.
But it kind of turned me off to direct mail. But I was talking to you last week and Ian, the VP of marketing here, and you guys recommend a different approach. I'd love to hear you talk about that so that the agencies listening can say, oh, okay, maybe this is a good way I could target outside of the Facebook ads I'm running or the cold email I'm running or whatever. How would you approach direct mail for an agency?
One of the unique things that I recently did actually was we're doing a lot of testing right now with our own customers. Mm-hmm. And so I've been basically doing I've been on the front lines and rebuilding the onboarding processes. And so I've been basically doing sales and then doing onboarding so that I can look at the churn of my own customers if I'm taking care of the whole process, right? The whole buyer's journey. And I was lucky enough to be able to onboard and sign up a dental company. And they're in New York. The guy's pretty big. He's got over 1,000 reviews, lot of customers, but I was really excited because I hadn't done too many dental campaigns myself.
Yeah.
And so I jumped in and we built out a great card. We showed different examples of like the people's teeth that he's fixed and kind of before and after type stuff. And then we also showed, the different types of health programs, health plans that are accepted. And so we uploaded his lists and sent out those postcards, and I got a phone call from him saying, dude, I converted over 40,000.
Wow.
Spent 4,000 on postcards, converted over 40,000. So awesome send. And he was like, hey, is this good? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'd say that's pretty good, right? A 10x ROI. Yeah, sure. So he's like, all right, well, let's do round 2. So we're waiting to hear back how round 2 does. Now he's doing the whole thing in Spanish and seeing how that does, targeting.
Nice.
So anyways, yeah, I think as an agency, you have a unique perspective. The reason why I mentioned that is because in a way I actually presented that just like an agency, right? I was able to actually sign up a customer and then I was able to help them run a campaign.
Yeah.
So it's not like you only have to run a campaign for yourself, but you can also run campaigns for your customers as well through the software. So if you want to do a done for you and sell it at a higher price point, hey, do it. Yeah. Bundle that in with a follow-up campaign and funnels or whatever else you want to. But you can do both those things. So now as far as an actual agency owner running a campaign for yourself, I would definitely use our list builder to be able to filter and create a targeted list unless you already have one. Some people have great lists too. And you can upload those for free into our system. So nothing wrong with that. As long as you have great data, that's like the whole key, in my opinion, to a good direct mail campaign. If you've got crappy data, you're not going to get in front of the right people, and there's going to be a lot of wasted sends there.
Yeah.
So that's first and foremost. Second, being able to actually have good marketing with, what is your call to action on that postcard? What is the unique offer? I've seen so many people that, because our system is DIY, they'll go out and they'll build a postcard and it's like, hi, I'm a realtor.
That's it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Just, hi, I'm your local realtor. And it's like, okay, was your goal branding? Because if that's the case, then you did a great job.
Yeah.
But is the actual purpose to try to generate customers? Because we're doing it wrong here, right? So I think just being able to guide people in that sense can be really important.
Got it. And as far as number of sends and kind of testing budgets and things like that,
yeah.
Do you recommend going smaller and sending more, or going much wider and only sending maybe 1 or 2 campaigns?
Yeah, no, great question. So that's another thing that we see a lot of, is that people will buy a list of 5,000 people and they'll go out and they'll blast all 5,000 one time, right? And that's not the way to do it. There's actual studies and stats out there that you can look up and find, but basically you have to send multiple sends, right? So I would much rather send to 500 people 5 times than 5,000 people once.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get in front of them more. It's about consistency in your branding, staying top of mind frequently, and when you add the physical aspect of marketing in with the digital, that's where you really start to build this brand. And when somebody's seeing you on a postcard that they get at home, when they see you in a Facebook ad, when they are getting emails from you once every 3 days even.
Yeah.
Suddenly your brand to that person starts to become known, right?
Yeah.
That is somebody says, "Hey, who do you know as a realtor?" Well, this guy's in front of me every 3 days, right? That's what you want. And, direct mail marketing really has that physical touch to it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any stories of direct mail like saving a business from going out of business or?
Yeah. Well, our industry is changing a lot right now, and it's been slow, but it's definitely apparent. And you've got Zuckerberg shutting us down and changing ads. You've got A2P regulations making everything extremely strict. Gone text messaging, right?
Yeah.
In a way, unless you've got secure opt-ins. Now you're getting fined. Emails changed, right? Recently, emails changed again. We have a customer that they were running Google local service ads and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Like a lot of money, right? And the best part was they were converting 4x that. And it blew up their business here locally. And apparently people were creating fake garage door businesses and using that to try to scam people. And so Google quickly shut down everybody in that niche from being able to run paid ads. So suddenly there's tens of millions of dollars in revenue lost, just gone. They've been shut down for over a year now, and just working on getting it back. Even though everything's validated and verified, it doesn't matter. It's Google.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, coming to us, it's, well, we've got to look at other revenue streams and other sources for marketing. So being able to do prospecting campaigns to individual homes and making sure that it's targeted, something that's really powerful, especially when you've lost a main traffic source like that. So being able to actually get in front of the right people again is really powerful. And so that's what I'd say.
So they've come to you and have they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on postcards?
They've spent tens of thousands so far.
Okay.
So far, tens of thousands. Yeah, we've entire cities have been targeted and sent out postcards. Yeah.
Yeah. Diversification is so important. And it's the thing you never think is going to slap you upside the head that does.
Yeah.
And so learning how to get into these industries that are a little bit harder to track, perhaps like direct mail, but can still have a very good ROI and positive impact on the business. And having that as a backup in case something like a Google slap hits you or a Facebook slap hits you. So smart. Why do you think physical marketing matters in 2024? Like we're about to all be living in the metaverse, like wearing our Google Vision, Apple Vision Pros, just like walking around all day.
I'm not
Babies
even
are going to
leave my
raise
bedroom.
themselves with robots, right?
Yeah.
Why do we need postcards or brownies?
Because when you're walking around with those VR headsets on, the only thing that's going to break through that is a physical product in your hands, right? And I think that's what's everybody, we talk about digital noise. How many AI bots I've been pitched in the last 6 months,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So being able to actually break through all of that, right? Like you think about even people that are decision makers. You have to be able to get through a receptionist or maybe the homeowner. You have to be able to hit those people in a different way, and ultimately that's how you can do it with Mailbox Power. Our CEO Brad always loves to say, if there was a box sitting on your front doorstep, you're not going to step over it, right? You're going to pick that up, you're going to open it up, and you're going to look at what's in it. That's just who we are. And so being able to have that physical aspect for marketing, it's way different in comparison. And again, like I've said, you have to blend those together. That's how you really create a brand for yourself.
Yeah, smart.
I think the idea behind Mailbox Power is that in a digital age right now, everybody's forgotten about the power of physical marketing, right? Being able to actually put something in somebody's hands. And right now, everything is digital. You've got 20,000 emails. You've got 100 unread text messages. I do, at least. Maybe not everybody. But being able to actually put that in somebody's hands and break through all that digital noise is, what Mailbox Power is for.
Very cool. So what really interests me, as I've been in marketing for, 6-7 years now, is results and case studies.
Yeah.
And we all know that they can't be replicated perfectly because they've got this unique set of circumstances that have led every business up to the point. But learning individual stories unlocks a lot for me. So the ones that you've shared so far have been awesome, but what other cool wins have you seen recently from direct mail campaigns at Mailbox Power?
Yeah, no, we've got so many, but I would have to say one of my most recents that I think is fantastic is I've actually got two.
Okay.
So Friday, I was working with one of our customers, and real estate agent. He's been in the real estate game for 10 plus years. And one of the things that he wanted to try to start doing was getting expired listings. And so basically he had tried everything, and I said, okay, let's try this. I want you to do a postcard campaign sending out to expireds. We're going to scrape some expired data. We'll automatically pull it into the system, trigger a campaign for you. You don't even have to do anything, right? It's just fully automated. With that, I want you to call those homeowners and say, hey, I recently just sent you a couple postcards. I don't know if you saw that, right? Luckily, you've got the QR code scanned, so you can actually see. You can see when they actually are scanning your marketing and looking at the landing pages. Converted 6 listings just in the last couple months from that.
Wow.
And she's like, I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Right? So again, being able to blend that digital and the physical is how you pull that out. Another one that I really, really love, this is more of a high ticket, but basically this is the second largest property management firm in the United States. Didn't even know that we had them. Mm-hmm. She randomly told me, oh, by the way, basically they had done a marketing campaign where they sent out our cookies, right? So we have these sugar cookies where you can print anything you want on them. They basically took their logos for each state or city, it might have been, and they put those designs into the cookies. So you've got a nice white sugar cookie with a logo over the top of that. And they sent those 2 packs of sugar cookies and a note card to these individual homeowners that have secondary properties. And the woman said within her first send of 50 cookies, she converted 3 customers and added over $70,000 annually in commissions.
Wow.
Just from sending out $2,000 worth of sugar cookies.
Yeah.
Right. And so, she said the people literally called me and said, I have never experienced anything like that in my life. What an amazing pitch. What do you got?
Yeah.
Right. And, there's so many different use cases like that where lumpy mail, people are just extremely surprised. I heard an amazing example from Alex Schlinsky. When I went and spoke out at his event, he told me his story where basically they were targeting law firms and they had a great product, but they had no way to break and get past the doorkeeper, right? The receptionist was always just, nope, hang up. And so they thought up this really unique strategy. I think it's genius. Basically, they would send a manila envelope folder that says do not open, right? And so it has to go directly to the lawyer. Lawyers open it up, boom, there's the pitch. They said half the phone calls, they said, you ever send me something again, I'm going to sue you. And the other half were, this was the most phenomenal marketing methods I've ever seen. What do you got for me, right?
Yeah.
So they converted tons of customers doing a unique case study like that. So I think that, you have to think about what works for your industry, but there's so many different options out there that you can go with and break through that digital noise.
Very cool. I was listening to a podcast this morning about the founder of Basecamp. If you know them, project management software, they've been around forever. And he said he's on like the board for his HOA. And he was like, kept trying to use this software for the parking app for his HOA. And it was just like broken, so unintuitive. The design was terrible, all this stuff. And then he goes to the HOA meeting and they're charging $10,000 a year to the HOA for this software that does nothing. Like it barely works, right? And he said it made me so mad, and like this is why I'm in business, to like create better products, to not charge so much for them, etc. And when I think about Mailbox Power and being able to white label it, like there's so many beginners out there that are so worried about not getting results, not being the best or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, have you seen the stuff that some of these people are trying to shill? That's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
They're overcharging for it. It's not customized. I'm going to post, some terrible templates on your Facebook profile and charge you $2,000 for it.
Yep.
Like the kind of stuff that people are spending marketing money on that is literally just flushing money down the toilet. Doesn't help at all. If you can just divert a little bit of that into your white label of Mailbox Power, or hey, let's spend a couple thousand on some cookies and some direct mail data and send some postcards. The long-term impact of that sticking in somebody's memory, but also combining that with everything you're doing digitally, I just think it's a noble, positive thing that actually works.
Yeah.
In a world where tons of people are selling stuff that doesn't matter, doesn't work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you've got, I think a lot of us, if you want to do one thing, go look at what your revenue source would be at if you didn't have clients cancel. I know it's not a sexy thing to talk about, but honestly, like if your entire year, let's say you only had 2% churn instead of 15 or 20 or more.
Or 90.
Yeah, right. Our product is so simple to use that I think that you don't have that same type of churn or that same type of issues. And then you add in sending them gifts and people have a whole new experience. You know, they're more likely to just call you up and say, hey, here's what I'm trying to do. How do I get help with this? Right.
Yeah.
You build that personal
And onboarding, like, quote unquote, doing the stuff that doesn't scale. Like, that's the famous Y Combinator quote. That's what Airbnb did at the very beginning. They flew out to their first listings and took all these professional pictures so that it looked more legit and it was an actual business, or appeared to be so at the time. And when I was running my agency, we would do a welcome gift towards the end of before I sold. And we would just like go online, we'd order crumble cookies and we'd like ship them there before I knew about Mailbox Power. But you think about automating that process and being able to send some brownies, some cookies, some like, hey, you guys are awesome. Let's send a message with it. And a postcard or a gift receipt or a gift card, yeah.
Gift card, greeting card, whatever it is.
Yeah, greeting card. That's the word I'm looking for. That's probably going to go up on their fridge or on their Christmas tree. One time, an orthodontic practice sent us the Christmas card we sent them when it was on their fridge. And those little like love taps throughout the year make such a big difference. And the fact that it can all be automated, I don't think is a bad thing. It's actually shows that you do care and you want that to keep happening to them. And so you set it up once, and Mailbox Power and High Level take care of that on the back end.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Being able to create an agency business like that just makes things so simple, right? Being able to create those automations where you can literally just load custom designs into your clients' accounts. So suddenly you're creating a full design, an automation of postcards with whatever else in that you want. And you're able to just duplicate that process down the line, sign up as many customers as you want. You've got a low churn. You've got a high retention rate. Customers are happy. You've got great marketing campaigns. You can also work with high-end customers, right? Because people that are making $70,000 in GCI off of 50 cookies, those people have money to spend, right?
Yeah.
So now you're able to target a better type of client, which when they have money to spend, well, they're probably going to stay with you longer too, right? And when you take care of them, they're more likely to stay. So there's a lot of positives there for this type of business.
Yeah. So cool. You almost make it sound like a no-brainer.
Kind of is. I would do it if I could.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of UtahPreneur. If you'd like to sign up for Mailbox Power, we have 25% off all their plans, including the white label plan, below in the description. So definitely check that out. And with that said, I have 3 other really important things to tell you. Don't worry, it'll be quick. Number 1, follow UtahPreneur on whatever social media you like best. Links in the description. Also, if you like video interviews, we go in person to every business on UtahPreneur, and that's something that makes us unique. So if you want to check that out, check us out on YouTube at UtahPreneur. Number 2, if you liked this podcast, the best thing you can do is share with a friend or leave us a review, or both. Wink, wink. And number 3, if you like this episode, you're going to love next week, where I sit down with my good friend Spencer Meekum. You might know him better as UtahPreneur on YouTube. He's built a massive brand there and built a very cool business and lifestyle on top of that brand, all with a solopreneur model where it's him, a video editor, and 1 virtual assistant. So make sure to check out next week's episode and subscribe for more. Take care.